In hourly rate model, a person is get paid for the number of hours he work for. Let's say if a person has set his hourly rate to $150, and he works for 10 hours on a project, then he will get paid from the client the total amount of $1500. Mm, it actually goes well for freelancers, for graphic designers, for ad generation or application development. For example, if I will give you an example, let's say you ask any application developer to create certain kind of application for you with 10 features, and later with changing scope changing, you realize that you actually need 15 more features in it, and you ask him to add some more features. And similarly, the same thing goes for graphic designing. Clients usually ask for continuous changes in the logos or any kind of advertisement. So in this kind of models, hourly rating or hourly pricing goes really very well. uh, mm, okay, before going to upfront plus maintenance business model, I would like all of my students to search 7 pricing models on internet and decide which one is best for them, and comment in the comment section below. Okay, so upfront plus maintenance business model, how does this work? What is basically, I would like to give you a little information about the upfront fee first. Upfront fee is basically a paid amount which you pay before a good is produced or any kind of service is performed. So the upfront fee is basically a portion of the total fee that you pay before buying any kind of product or before getting any kind of services. Okay, so let's say I will give you an example of an artist. If you ask him to create your portrait and you give him 20% of the total amount as an upfront fee, and later on when he completes his complete portrait, you give him the rest of the amount. This is how the upfront fee works. In upfront plus maintenance business model, people usually charge less upfront fee, and as a maintenance charges they charge more from the customer. Consumer model is very interesting. In this kind of model basically goes well for consumable products such as food items, coffee, tea, etc. Now I will give you your real life example. Let's say you just purchase a coffee machine and put in front of any restaurant, and you offer coffee, tea, green tea, soup, tomato soup, and corn soup there, and you do not ask them for the machinery charges. And the coffee machine is usually very expensive, and you do not even take the labor charges from them, and you do not take the serving charges from them even. Then how you are going to get the profit? You are just charging for the consumable product, that is, let's say you charge 20 rupees from the soup and 20 rupees from the coffee and 15 rupees from the tea, which is very less as compared to your machinery and the efforts that you are putting in creating and making these products. So how you will get benefited in this model? In this kind of model, you charge for only consumable, but your main focus is in the repetition of your customer. Your main focus is to engage your customer. That how many times your customer will rebuy the same product from you. In this way, at the end of the and at the end of at the end of the day, your profit margin really is really very well, and then you just realize that you have earned a good enough amount from that. Okay, so usage based model, it actually goes well for telecommunication companies, where they charge for their services, and they charge for the services that you have used or consumed. For example, If you have consumed 8 GB internet, then you will pay for that portion of MBs only. Another example is that another example I will give you about Amazon Web Services. They offer shared spaces to individuals, and shared cloud spaces basically to individuals and businesses. So the more space you will consume, the more you will pay, and the less space you will consume, the less you will pay for that. This is how their model basically works. And one another example is that if you have ever noticed, electricity bill actually electricity charges are really very high in the rush hours, and in Pakistan the rush hours are usually from 8 p.m. to 12 p.m. 12 a.m. In that time, most customers use consume the electricity, so their graph really goes high. And for keeping it low and for keeping it in the balance, they charge more in the rush hours.